Let's see if this works. Yeah, it's being live streamed. By staying in the meeting, you consent.
Okay.
Check, check, 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, I'm here.
Turn your volume down, asshole. Remember that whole echo thing?
Just turn down.
I don't know what you did last time. Just fix it.
There's nothing different.
I hear myself a little, and it's annoying. All right, let's see.
Make sure there.
Share. There we go. Now we're streaming. Now we're going. Now we're chugging along. All right, Jeremy, are you ready?
Sure.
Are you ready for this jelly?
Don't say things like that.
Welcome to a brand new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D, here this week with Jeremy. Jeremy, how you doing?
Great.
You look thrilled to be here. You sound even more thrilled. What's wrong with you, asshole? Or is that's just you?
Yeah.
Okay. You miss the wife and the older kid. You can't get along without him?
No.
Okay. It is early, but I thought you wanted to get this done.
Yeah.
I figure we could record the podcast. We could go to lunch, go have fun, go get that early bird special that you senior citizens love so much for dinner, and then you're done. You're done for the day, and you go to sleep again. You're just gonna hold there in a silent pose? No, nothing.
Well, I'm waiting for you to say something funny.
Oh, okay.
More interesting.
It's funny. All right. So like I said, this is the season finale. This is episode 37. What?
Nothing.
What? What's
Nothing.
funny? Tell me, asshole. What?
Nothing.
You laughing about the other thing?
No, the season 37 or episode 37.
Oh, what? Because of the Clerks thing?
No, just because you're just your nature. You're, moving on.
I don't understand what you're trying to get across. You should elaborate, because this is usually an audio podcast. I don't think many people watch the video form.
Yeah, and
what are you trying to say?
You get things in your head, and that's the way it has to be. You got a little bit of I don't want to say OCD, because I don't want to, but if you get something in your head, that's how it's gonna be.
What are you talking about? The 37?
That, or pretty much anything else that, if you have a way you think it should be, if someone tries to deviate, that is not going to work.
Well, no one's tried to deviate.
Done with it at that point.
No, I would have done 37 episodes. You got that COVID, huh? I would have done 30. I would have done 37 episodes per season anyway, but we probably wouldn't be taking a short hiatus like we will be if we didn't have some of the things we're going to talk about going on. We probably would have just started the next week and just started season 3, episode 1, because, I like 37. I like having a reference to a touchstone in my life, cultural touchstone such as Clerks, making it my favorite number with 37. And so it applies. It's applicable to the podcast since we number our podcasts. So.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's see. What should we start with? Vinny hasn't sent in a message yet, but I guess we could talk about that. So Vinny, one of the founding members of the Usual Saints. I've known him for 14 years now. He unfortunately has to take a step back from the Usual Saints, and I'm not sure if he'll be able to come back in the future, but we're always going to leave that door open because, again, he's a founding member. He's one of my friends. He's always been good to me, and I don't want to close any door on him. So without getting into why he's leaving and everything, he wants to make sure he's in a good place for his family and what he has to do with his jobs and whatnot. So Vinny, I hope you send in that audio so I can edit it in here. Or that video like I asked you to. I might even make it the cold open if it's something cool. But Vinny, I'm gonna miss you. You're a great part of the show, and I hope you can come back in the future. You're a lot better than the schmuck that's sitting here now. Maybe less reliable, but but funnier. Both of you have your things. You're the zingers that you wait for. You got that wit that you wait for. Vinny is more the try to get a laugh out of every situation thing, which is great. We like to have
something.
What do you mean? Was I saying something? Am I muted?
Wasn't paying the fucking attention to your rambling. Shit, you're gonna go into monologues like that. It's like having Saint back.
Saint will be back in October, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But yeah, no. I mean, come on. I'm gonna miss Vinny. I mean, you've known him the same amount of years, not as close because you didn't go to the broadcasting school and you didn't spend time with him in Atlanta and everything. But what do you got to say about Vinny leaving?
No, I mean, I can understand it. I don't know that, you can't really put what is it, the jelly back in the jar, or
it's toothpaste back in the toothpaste tube.
Yeah, it's out there already. I mean, there's apparently 36 episodes already. He wasn't on 25 of them, but still.
Don't forget season 1, which is available on theusualsaints.com. Nowhere else.
Might be exaggerating that he missed 35 or 25 of them, but I mean, it does lead into one of our topics for today. I don't know how closely you followed the news of Jeopardy announcing their new hosts and giving it to the guy that almost no one had ever heard of. I mean, he looks familiar to me. I've seen him on something else. I think he was hosting some other reality show, I believe, but I guess he was the executive producer. They made him the new host, and then he lasted all of one day of taping before some website found his old podcasts. At least that is part of it. He had the old podcasts, which, yeah, that's I guess what ties into this. But yeah, I guess he also, when he was the producer of The Price is Right, had multiple lawsuits brought against him for I didn't say unfair, not the greatest working environment for the women on the show, I guess is how they put it. So I like I said, I can, for Vinny's standpoint, I can understand where he's looking out for himself, but it might be too late already. I mean, just saying.
Listen, I think the stuff that we've talked about on this podcast is not the same situation as Mike Richards, that's his name, right? With what he said in his podcast. Given I have not listened to his podcast, and maybe he was saying everything in jest. And again, with Me Too and everything, even if it was 7 years ago, I think for that guy at this point, you have to put everything in the way it was said at the time. If the co-hosts and the guests or whoever it related to they were in on the joke or they were okay with it, quote unquote, some people are going to be offended, but I feel like that's usually my favorite kind of comedy, is when people do get offended. I'm just talking about his podcast now. If he said it in a point where the women on the show, which I've read, that they weren't appreciative of it. They weren't appreciative of him calling them hoes or whatever else he was calling them from the articles I read. Then that's a different story.
The first kind of incident that I was reading about was, I guess his show was going on during the big hack of all the celebrities, nude pictures and whatnot. And I guess he had two young women on the show with him who were normally on the show, and was asking them if they, took naked pictures and joking about, letting them see them or whatever. And, asking if they were about their boobies. And I'm like, it seems very topical to the conversation. Maybe not the part asking to see them I could see being inappropriate, but hey, do you take pictures? Did you realize this could happen? That part I don't see the problem with having that conversation. Maybe, asking to see the pictures, obviously. In anything other, I mean, it's obviously, to me, I take it as he was jokingly asking, hey, let me see your, oh, can I see him? But, it's still sort of their ball. I don't know if they're being paid or if it was free, because shit, I'm not getting paid. But if it's a job, then hey, shit, yeah, that's your ball. Even in that situation, yeah, the show. I mean, I know Stern has talked about this a bit. Sexual harassment can't really exist in our environment on air, because on air everything goes. But if you don't have that understanding with your coworkers, yeah, then it ends up being, your boss is talking to you about your fucking sexual pictures and asking to see your pictures of your, breasts and shit. And I promise I will never ask to see a picture of your breasts, Mike.
I mean, I'll show you now if you want. I mean,
anybody who does watch the video would turn it off at that
point. So my pecs aren't bad; they're good, solid, like a barrel. No, I mean, I think what fat can be solid. Yeah. You'd know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it does go back to the environment thing. Like you brought up Stern. I mean, in Stern's history, I don't recall him ever asking to see naked pictures, but they were provided to him willingly, either by the people who came on air or, what?
How many times has he asked Robin to take her top off?
I know, and that's what I'm saying. But I think she was in on the joke, and it was never, not that it was a joke. Hey, if it happened, it happened. I think it was the same thing with this guy, but I don't know his relationship with those women. And I remember I know what you're saying. Yeah, topicality is good, and it does make sense. But then I read he kept pressing on, like asking about boobies and things like that. So listen, I don't think he should have been the choice anyway, just based off. I mean, you have that, but then you have all the scandals that happen with The Price is Right, trying to make the dresses shorter, saying that if he would have known, he told one of the models if he would have known she was pregnant, he would have fired her or something like that. Yes, I mean, she won like $5 million. So, I mean, this guy is obviously a scumbag of some sort. I mean, I like chicks in short dresses too, but you know what? I'm not going to revolve my entire show around it, because that's not what the show's about. I don't even care about the models if I ever catch The Price is Right anymore. Like, if I do watch it, it's about trying to watch the games and whatnot. The models just present these things. I don't care. What do I care? I mean,
it's just there, so it's not a static image of a prize. There's movement.
I know, but like, I don't. It's not like when The Price is Right first premiered in the 70s or 80s. Whenever Bob Barker started with it. I mean, it probably was a little.
The original host.
No, he was. I don't think he was either. But when it was big, yeah. I mean, you probably get a kick out of or a thrill out of, ooh, look at that hot girl, that model. She's promoting that. She's showing this item. Wow, she's so cute. Not something I can see easily by going on the internet. So, I mean, nowadays you don't need that. You have a computer in your pocket at all times, so you can just look that up. And this guy was EP, a decade ago? So, I mean, it was around then. He could have, for Price is Right. So, I just don't understand that whole thing, that whole process, making skirts shorter and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I also don't think they went with the wisest choice. If you want to get the most viewers, the most eyeballs on your show. I think you hire someone that has a lot of backing behind them. That the fans who are watching all these guest hosts that you put on for an entire season that they enjoy. And I know LeVar Burton got a real big push at the end. And I mean, I didn't watch
push at the beginning.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm talking Rainbow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the nostalgia factor. The people who watch Jeopardy are not teenagers typically. I mean, obviously you have Teen Jeopardy and all that kind of stuff, but it's usually like people our age, older people. You know, it's 7:30 at night. That's what they watch. Kids are on their phones, on Twitch, on TikTok, doing all that stuff. So you want to appeal to people. You want to get someone who's going to appeal. LeVar Burton, as far as I know, has zero controversy. He's like clean as a whistle. He's got the Star Trek fans behind him. He's got Reading Rainbow, which is huge. He brought it back again. He's always been a big proponent of reading and doing everything like that. I mean, he could be the new Mr. Rogers if that was a new thing, if that was a thing, you know? So I thought he would be great. I have nothing against the other choices, but if your goal is to get eyeballs, yeah, Alex Trebek wasn't real known when he took over from Art Fleming or whatnot in the current incarnation of Jeopardy, but that was a different time again.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some of the episodes. I mean, like Ken Jennings. I mean, yeah, you know, he's a name recognition, but he was too stiff for me. I think LeVar Burton would probably have been the best choice. Aaron Rodgers is still playing football. I mean, I don't know what the fuck that was all about.
He really wanted it, though. I read he was like going for it. Like, he was fitting into his schedule. I think he probably would have restructured his contract or whatever. I don't know how that would have worked, but
I mean, I know Blossom, they gave like some kind of specials thing. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be, but
she would have done primetime shows, like for the special episodes, maybe celebrities or something like that. I don't know, the ones they put in primetime on ABC, and she would have done other things like that. But she has her own controversies with anti-vaxxing and what was the other thing? Shit. I had it the other day. She has her own controversies, needless to say. So both of these choices, I mean, I know, I guess Mike Richards was probably in on his own hiring. You know, he's the EP of Jeopardy.
I read that he was in charge of the search, but he stepped back when it became obvious he was in the running. Yeah. So the people that he's the executive producer over made the decision. I mean,
right.
Come on.
Right. So,
boss, yeah, we would decide to go with someone else. Oh, okay. Fuck you.
So, I mean, that's kind of how it is. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the whoever they hire. I don't. If they put Mayim Bialik in there, I think the same microscope is going to be shown on her. So we'll see.
I don't think that was a good choice either.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, she's definitely smart. She's a neuroscientist, something like that. She's got her doctorate or something like that. But she has these things that whether or not it should be controversial, it is. And so that's what is gonna, like, why Mike Richards claims he stepped away. That's what people are gonna think about when they're watching the show, at least at the beginning. Yeah, it might pass with time if she does get
stepped away in terms of not being the host anymore. He's still
he's still the EP. I know.
I don't know how long that'll last. I mean, he might, if he gets another name out there quick enough, he might be able to survive. But if this lingers on, they're gonna shit can him from that too.
I mean, I think he should just step away from the show in general at this point, because I mean, everything's out there. People are going to know if he stays EP, because that's what websites do. You know, AV Club, or it was The Ringer that put out the expose about the podcast the other day. So I mean, so I mean, if he stays on the show, it's going to be something that's in people's heads. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're. Good.
You know who they need to get? You watch Saturday Night Live anymore?
No.
They need to get Kenan Thompson. He hosted a skit called Black Jeopardy.
Black Jeopardy. Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. That's who they need to host Jeopardy.
He'd be good, but he's got too much other stuff going on, I think, right now. Plus, he's an NBC guy. He's got his own show. He's got his own show. He's got SNL. He's the longest tenured cast member I think ever. And he's
he
got
did some kind of comedy show last year. I don't know if that's
yeah.
gonna stick around.
Oh, okay, that was last year. I didn't know. So maybe it was
2 years
last
ago
year.
now.
Okay.
Chrissy Teigen and Jeff Foxworthy with him.
Oh, Chrissy Teigen. That doesn't sound like that's going to stay around.
This was all before that.
Chrissy
When she
Teigen been
was still
canceled
young.
now. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm just really reading the articles, though. I mean, I'm not a regular Jeopardy guy anymore. I do enjoy watching it because I like to test my trivia knowledge, and I don't get out to trivia as much. But we'll see, man. It's obviously gonna take. We'll see if they pick from the batch they already have, or if they go with what fans think, or if they take that into account. If he has a say in it, I don't know.
All right, and to sum up, Vinny, you're already fucked, so I don't understand your choice. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, R.I.P. pillow fucker.
You should do a montage of just the shots of the pillow in the background.
Didn't we already do the I will remember you?
Anyway.
I'll see what I can do.
How was what was it? MegaCon?
MegaCon. Yeah, I know you don't know the name because you've never been and refused to ever go, and I've invited you for 10, 12 years now.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, how was it?
It was good. It sucked we stayed at the Hyatt. I know you hate hearing all my details, but we stayed at the Hyatt, which is right across the street, and it's really fancy and it was expensive. But it's nice because you don't have to walk, you don't have to drive. So you just literally walk across the street, you're there. But however, like after we recorded the last podcast, immediately more people were canceling. It seemed like celebrities were canceling every day. Giancarlo Esposito canceled the night before or the morning he was supposed to be there. Two of the Office people canceled. Stanley and I forget who the other one was. Toby? I don't know. One of them had COVID. I heard that from David Koechner, who did show up from The Office. He played Packer on The Office, and he was an anchor man. He wore the cowboy hat. I forget what his character's name was. He was great, by the way. He had a great panel. He was great. He's like, fuck Ron DeSantis. You guys have a horrible governor, that kind of shit. I love that. So he was hilarious, but he did mention that one of the people had COVID. He didn't say who because he probably didn't want that out there if they didn't want to release it. But people were just dropping left and right. And listen, I get it if you have a job and you can't. I get conventions are the last thing you want to do. I'm never going to fault someone for that, but at the same time, it's like you kind of made a commitment. You kind of said you were going to be there unless it's an emergency situation or it's this huge thing that you absolutely can't turn down. Like you're letting your fans down, you know what I mean? And that was my, that was the whole thing. That was the vibe throughout the thing. If you looked at the Facebook page or the chats, like whenever someone would cancel, so much vitriol in the comment section from people. Like, and it was definitely less crowded than in past years. Now, whether that was due to the mask mandate that they had in place or, COVID in general and people being, afraid to come to a con for the first time in a year and a half, 2 years, or just the lack of celebrities.
The ones that suck. I mean, if somebody backs out a week or two ahead of time, people can change their minds, maybe get a refund. Backing out the morning of, that kind of sucks. I mean, that's hey man, you made it past the week to go and were saying you were showing up still. It's a little fucking late to tell us now.
Yeah. And that's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened with Giancarlo. And I love the guy. I'm a huge fan of his work. I just, how do you not know until the day before that you're not going to be there? Jeremy, you're not a professional. Turn your fucking phone off.
Again, not a professional. I agree with that part.
So let's see. Who did I see there? Who did show up? The people who did show up surprised me because COVID's blowing up in Florida because DeSantis sucks. William Shatner, 90 years old, showed up now, but I understand because that dude is never one to turn down a convention and turn away money. Why fuck Shatner?
He's an asshole, and you know it.
He is an asshole, but he's funny. He was the first panel I saw Thursday night. Heather and Sophie went to a Black Butler, which is an anime panel, and I went to see Shatner, and he was great. You know, if he does not look 90, he definitely acts more spry than if he was 90. He has great stories. His memory is like there. And you know, listen, he was great. As much as if you're saying, because you know, I know you listen to Stern, you know, Takei and Shatner, they've had their things over the years. I'm always going to be on Takei's side, but if I can see both of them, Shatner still has great stories. He's still in a lot of my favorite stuff. You know, that Twilight Zone episode doesn't really hold up with the monster suit, but he's in Airplane 2, great. The Star Trek movie, Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan, I mean, that's probably the best Star Trek movie ever. So it was great to see him and hear what he had to say, and he had funny stories, even though a lot of them were personal. They gave him a birthday cake at the end, which is, I don't know if I can show this to you. I didn't prep by it doesn't, no, it's not going to show.
Not very professional.
Shut up.
I can't see shit.
It was a Star Trek Enterprise approaching some sort of planet, and had him on there, and he grabbed his little figure. It was probably, you know, a decent sized figure, like one of the old size GI Joes, the big GI Joes, and he took a big bite out of the head. So that was nice. So they gave him the cake for his birthday, since they missed it in March. Who else did I see? So there was Shatner. I went to see Mario after that. Charles Martinet, I think he pronounces it. It's Charles Martinet. It has a T at the end, but I think he pronounces it Martinet. He's been the voice of Mario for, I don't know, 20, 25 years, some maybe more. You know, he's the guy.
Mario Brothers, Mario?
Oh, yeah, he goes, "It's me, I'm Mario." You know, that kind of stuff. That's him.
That's it. I mean, what else does he say?
No, he says other stuff.
Mario says other stuff?
Oh, yeah, like, whoa.
You went to see a panel of that guy.
But
what else has he done?
I caught the end of it. Nothing, because, well, no, that's not true. He has done other work, but he has to be careful of what he takes, because he is always beholden to Nintendo. He made a point of saying that in the panel. He can't take any other work, because he always has to go if Nintendo calls. And like I said, I only caught the end of the panel because I was just leaving Shatner, and it overlapped. They did it. I don't like the way they spaced out the panels, because a lot of them overlapped, but whatever. It's unavoidable sometimes. What the hell is that? Oh, my closet door is moving, and I realized why. My dog's in here. So I only caught the tail end, but apparently a lot of people were asking about some Super Mario Brothers movie. I guess there's rumblings about that. I had not even heard about that, and I'm pretty good about hearing about, you know, pop culture news and rumors and stuff like that. And he kept shutting it down, like saying, I can't talk about that. So that leads me to believe that there is something, you know, coming out. And obviously he will be the voice in it. What that turns out to be, whether it's a feature film or, you know, something released by Nintendo somewhere, I don't know. He also couldn't talk about the Super Mario Land or whatever or Super Nintendo Land or whatever they call it over in Japan. A, I think he hadn't been there yet, and B, I think, you know, they like to keep a lid on that. I don't even know if it's fully open yet because of COVID and everything. I know Sophie wants to go. She's like, I want to go to Japan for that, to see the Nintendo Land.
Universal announced they're gonna make one here?
They are, but not yet. You know, it's not done yet. You know what I mean? So let's see. That was Thursday. Then the next day, I got to see Adam Savage from Mythbusters.
Nice.
He was cool. He had a ton of great stories. He didn't give a shit. He was just talking whatever. He was doing Jamie Heineman impressions. He talked a little bit about Grant Mahara, you know, who died. Yeah. So he was great. And, you know, I guess he has a company or a show called Tested. I've never seen it. I guess it's kind of what he did after Mythbusters. But he was talking about building like a full working like Iron Man armor. And it's like the first one ever. Like he got the specs from Marvel, and they sent it over, and they 3D printed it in titanium or something like that. And they were using like all of the 3D printers that print titanium in America at the same time to print this thing. So I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know you could 3D print titanium. So that was really cool to hear. You know, he was really interesting. Then I saw David Koechner. that same day. He would, like I said, he was great. Again, we've talked about me not being a big fan of Anchorman. I do love him from The Office.
He's on. My wife likes to watch this stupid dog competition show on
Okay.
America's Best Canine or some shit like that. He's fucking the co-host this year.
He's fucking the co-host, or he is the co-host?
He is the co-host.
He's funny though. You don't like him? I know you like him. He's just funny.
Fuck. Not where you would expect to see him. I just,
And then I dressed up as Michael Myers for Friday and Saturday. Not from Austin Powers, but from Halloween. So yeah, it's full mask. And I had my mask under the mask.
Have a mask over the mask too, so people knew you had the mask under the mask.
So I talked to Heather about it and Sophie the day before or the morning of or a few days before. I just knew I couldn't put it together in time because I thought of it too late. I thought instead of carrying my knife around, my plastic knife, I would wear a mask on top of the mask, like you just said, and I could get like a giant fake plastic syringe, like at a party store, like Party City or something, and walk around, and it'd be a humorous take because of COVID and shots and everything like that, and vaccines. But I didn't get to put it together in time. And then Sophie was like, if you do that, people will think you're an anti-vaxxer because it seems like you're mocking it or something like that. I'm like, I get that, but I still think it'd be funny. But I got a ton of reactions on Friday, especially. Saturday was a lot busier, so people are still taking pictures, but it was much more packed, especially on the sales floor. People on Friday were constantly asking me to take my picture. I have the Halloween theme playing in my pocket on a Bluetooth speaker, so it's nice. I walk around real creepy, like I don't talk. That's my bag. I enjoy doing it. It's my only cosplay that I do right now. So
did you meet up with what the hell was her name?
Brooklyn?
The
Oh,
one we interviewed.
Which one? Liz?
The burlesque girl that was going to be there.
Oh, Harley.
Yeah.
No, she was there, but I didn't meet up with her. I saw she posted. She was there with her partner or whatever, and I found out it's really tough being there with family and trying to do any work stuff or any meetups. Well, I didn't find it. I knew that, because listen, you wake up, you have breakfast from Walgreens, except for the Sunday. Sophie had to have real breakfast, so we had to go to Denny's. So that's a whole chunk of time waiting in line trying to get to a restaurant from that. You go to the con, you go to whatever panels, you eat lunch at the con usually because you don't want to go out and come back. Then you're there and you're seeing panels. That's what I do. I go for the Q&As, I go for the panels. I want to hear what the celebrities have to say. I don't do a lot of autographs. I sadly forgot to bring my Invincible series from Robert Kirkman because Ryan Otley was there. I don't have his autograph on anything, and I really wanted to get his autograph on my Invincible book. So I'm hoping he comes back next year. But there's just so much to do unless you go there just to kind of meet up with people or hang out. If you have a family and you go there with a family, it's tough because you're not there alone, and you have to not just focus on your own needs. You have to plan with other people. So meeting up with friends sadly kind of takes a back door. Listen,
thinking of someone other than yourself that's very out of character for you.
It's not. You just think it is.
It is a little bit. It is.
All right. So but no, I did not meet up with her. All right, let's see.
Was Michaela or Liz there?
Liz is in Hawaii, so I don't think she was there. Michaela, I did not see any posts about, so I think she's probably stayed in, or is she from Tennessee, I think?
Georgia.
Yeah. No, Tennessee. She goes to Georgia for shoots. It's close.
I thought she stayed in Georgia. Maybe.
I think Tennessee, but I don't know. I saw Michael Rooker. You know who that is, right? Oh, come on, man.
What? Who?
Bro, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Yondu? Blue guy with a fin on his head?
With the arrow.
Yes. He was also Mr. Svenning in Mallrats. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know who he is now.
He was awesome. So he comes out and he does not give two shits about anything. First of all, he spoiled the beginning of Suicide Squad for me. We hadn't seen it yet. And I told Heather, I'm like, we have to go see this tonight. just so nothing else gets spoiled. He what he does is he came out with this female co-host and he was being like real flirty with her and stuff like that. So listen, nowadays, like I was like, wow, he's kind of taking a risk. But whatever. It was in front of a whole crowd of people.
He's not going to be the host of Jeopardy.
So he gets the microphone, right? And people line up for questions like they do at conventions. And instead of he takes the first few that are waiting in line, but instead of that, he literally jumps off the stage and walks out and just starts walking up to people and asking them something or asking them what their question is and just doing rapid fire things. And it was hilarious. Like you had to follow. I had my mask and everything on, my Michael Myers. So I'm having to follow this guy like with no peripheral vision. I'm going like this. And he's just like all over the place. This guy is full of energy. He was awesome.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I'm not gonna speculate on that, but it would make.
I was just making a comment. I wasn't making any kind of accusations. I mean, you read into that way too much.
And then after that, I feel like I'm talking too much about MegaCon, but I want to cover everyone who was there. It was a fun time. So then after that, I saw. Oh no, Heather and Sophie did come. Did you watch Sons of Anarchy? Jeremy, you suck.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So I saw Ron Perlman, Ryan Hurst, and Mark Boone Jr., who were on Sons of Anarchy. Did you watch Remember the Titans? I'm sure you watched that.
Yes.
Okay. The big white football player, did he get paralyzed or something?
One of them did, yeah. Not
the main white
biggest one.
No, the main white football player thing?
Yeah, the racist, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He played Opie in Sons of Anarchy, and he was there. And you know who Ron Perlman is? He was the original Hellboy, Beauty and the Beast. Okay. Mark Boone Jr. He's hard to describe. He's almost like a character actor. He's been in a ton of stuff. He's been in Memento. I know him most from in Sons of Anarchy. So they were great. Which one?
Memento. I hate
it. He played the hotel guy in Memento. He has the beard.
I hated the fucking movie. But go ahead.
Why do you hate the movie?
So stupid. Moving on.
Why? We have to talk about it. Unless you want to review it.
15 minutes of filming to make a 2.5 hour movie.
They do 15 minutes of filming.
Yeah, they replayed a minute every time they jumped. It was fucking stupid. Let's go.
That was a brilliantly done movie. You have no taste.
Moving on.
So
15 minutes and told the whole story.
That's Chris Nolan's first big movie. You're not a Chris Nolan fan?
On.
Oh, jeez. And Ron Perlman and Ryan Hurst are big anti-DeSantis people, so that was really fun. I love that. I was surprised at how many of those came out. Who's this? Then I saw Ray Fisher. Does that name ring a bell?
No.
He played Cyborg in Justice League.
Okay.
Did you see Justice League?
No.
Jesus Christ. Have you read anything about Ray Fisher and DC and Cyborg and Justice League and how Joss Whedon treated him and how all that stuff came out and there was big controversy last year leading into this year? No? Jesus.
Tell me about
Christ. Joss Whedon apparently is not a very nice guy and really messed with people on the set when he took over for Zack Snyder when he was filming Justice League. And so Ray Fisher brought this to light last year in like a series of Twitter or Instagram posts, and a bunch of people have backed him up about Joss Whedon's behavior. And Joss Whedon is pretty much persona non grata in Hollywood now. He got taken off his series, The Nevers, that he was developing on HBO. So Ray Fisher brought all this to light. And so he's still fighting that fight because the person who took over DC Entertainment, I think his name's Walter Hamada. And that was after Justice League shot, but Walter Hamada still hasn't properly addressed the controversy and the situation to Ray Fisher's liking. So a lot of people were asking Ray if he would stay as Cyborg, if he would come back if there was Justice League. One guy asked Justice League 3, and Ray Fisher said, well, first I need to come back in Justice League 2. Because the questioner, I think, meant that since there was already Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is a 4-hour cut, he kind of thought maybe, I guess, that Justice League 3 would follow. So he actually went off on a little bit of a rant saying that he wouldn't do anything until he got an apology from Walter Hamada. And that made news a few days later. I'm surprised how long it took to make news, but it made news from the person who asked it. but he seems like a pretty good dude. He does a lot of Broadway, a lot of stage work, New York and things like that. I guess he played Muhammad Ali on stage in New York and some other things. He's a big Shakespeare fan. He seems like a really intelligent dude. I don't have any reason to think why he would say anything that would why he was saying anything would be untrue. So he was fun too. It wasn't just all serious. Like, he tried to keep it light too. And he was the only celebrity to wear a mask the entire time on stage. So not having seen him before, it was a little weird still not see his face and not exactly know what he looked like, or that, from except for the movies and whatnot.
It was the right guy.
It sounded like him, and he knew enough shit to where it seemed like it was. But yeah, it was yeah, he was cool. You want to take a break before we finish MegaCon, Jeremy? Is that what you're saying? We're only on Saturday, so we have 2 more days.
You're 45 minutes in. Usually you want to take a break by now.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll finish up MegaCon when we come back, and then we'll roll through a bunch of quick topics that we have on the list.
Well, yeah, all your topics are the same ones, so.
They are not, and we'll discuss that.
Really
are you talking about, what are you talking about? Vaccination and shit like that?
Break. Bye. Bye. Taking a break.
No, if you want to say taking a break, you got to say this is the usual states. We'll be right back.
Okay, you just did. Fuck it. We're done.
I wonder if the YouTube watchers can hear the YouTube or the recording in progress thing. I doubt that. I get that's for it's just because oh wait, they can see. Look on YouTube. It does show Mike D and Jeremy. But when you export the video recording, it doesn't have that. Huh. Interesting. Wow. Okay. So, hey, welcome back to the Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Jeremy this week. Vinny is gone to a better place. And Saint is in a worse place. And he wants to get back, but he's not back yet.
He's gone to a better place. All right. I'm not even going to touch that one.
Oh, I mean, let people assume what they want to assume.
When we left, you were telling us about all you did at MegaCon.
And we're continuing. So then we get to the big panel. Oh, by the way, MegaCon, not that you would know this because you've never been to a convention really, but
yeah,
I know. San Diego Comic-Con, infamous for, well, I was there in, what was that, 2012? Yeah, me and Saint went there in 2012. They have Hall H, which is the largest hall. It seats thousands and thousands of people. You can basically get there first thing in the morning for the first panel. You could sit there, you could sleep there, you could get there, whatever. You get in there, you do not have to leave. You can sit there all day, watch all the biggest panels, watch all the biggest celebrities, all that kind of stuff. That's their rule. I did not like it then because me and Saint wound up having to wait in line for hours to see a panel we wanted to see, and that just felt kind of unfair to us. MegaCon instituted that policy this year for the Chapin Theater. However, due to the lack of attendees and celebrities dropping out and everything, it was never an issue for me where I could not get in. But you were welcome to stay there and not have to leave. So that was interesting. So we basically got there, Ray Fisher, and we stayed for the Full House panel, which my wife wanted to go to. Her coworkers wanted. Yeah, see, I knew this would perk you up.
I actually know. Well, this one is something I can actually, who was there?
Well, who do you think was there? If you had to guess, I'll tell you there's 3 people that were there. Who do you think was there?
All right, Aunt Becky's still probably on probation, so that's not happening. Stamos, I think, does okay still, so maybe Uncle Joey, whatever the fuck his real name is.
That's Dave Coulier.
Olsen twins are billionaires. Fuck. God damn. Kimmy Gibbler? No? I almost want to say the little twins, but the boys, but I don't think they'd show up either. Nobody care.
No.
The little sister? The middle sister, I mean?
No.
No? Who else?
Bob Saget, Danny Tanner, and Uncle Jesse, John Stamos.
Really? All three adult males were there, huh?
All on the stage at the same time. They were fun. Bob Saget tried to keep it as PG-13 as he could, because I don't know if you know, but he's a fairly dirty comedian.
Fucking disgusting.
Like, you've seen Half Baked, right?
Yeah.
His infamous line, like, what
Have
is
you
it?
ever sucked dick for coke?
I was so hoping someone would bring that up during the panel, but unfortunately no one did. But they were funny. They just had a good rapport between them. They were going back and forth. They were answering questions, of course, for the fans, but it was good times. Unfortunately, and this is another thing that I hate about MegaCon, and I put in the stupid survey that they sent me. The panel was supposed to start at 4:00. Panels last 45 minutes. Okay. Conventions usually don't deviate from that at all. They didn't show up until 4:25. Now, whether you want to blame that on them doing autographs over there, the staff not getting them from the show floor where the autographs and photo ops are done to the panel on time, that left, instead of 45 minutes, that left them with 20 minutes. Now, I'll give MegaCon this. I think they allowed them to stay for 25 or 30, but they still wanted to talk. They said they thought they had an hour, and MegaCon shut them down. So it really kind of sucked because we only got a limited amount of time to hear their funny stories, and that was probably the panel that was most full that I went to, actually. Yeah, so that's what sucked, and that's I get that they have photo op times and autograph signing times and things like that, but if it's the convention's fault, or maybe it's the actor's fault, but they still wanted to talk. So once they left, and I get it because they had a 5 p.m. panel that they had to prep for, which we stayed for as well, which we'll talk about next. But it sucked. It was annoying. So, but they were fun. Stamos and Saget and even Coulier, they obviously a lot of people focus on Stamos or Bob Saget because Dave Coulier hasn't done a lot besides be referenced in that Alanis Morissette song and Cut It Out.
Nobody asked him about Alanis?
Again, I was hoping.
Like 32, she was 18. You regret taking off? Because you should have stuck around for that.
I would have stuck around. But anyway.
She's God.
Yes, there you go. See, that's a good reference. Dogma. See, you're a Kevin Clerks fan. You can't, or Kevin Smith fan. You can't get the 37, but that's fine. So then after
36 originally, she forgot about him. Don't forget.
That's right.
36, is that including me? 37.
37. She does it sheepishly. She's like 37. So after
my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks in a row.
Tried to suck a dick on the way to the parking lot. Hey, where are you going? Get back here. I hope Clerks 3 is better than Clerks 2. That's all I have to say.
Clerks 2 was the one where the fucking film caught fire during the credits.
Oh, yeah.
You came up to Vieira to watch it when we were previewing it, and the fucking guy hadn't untaped it, and it fucking caught fire during the credits.
Well, that should have been at the very end at the very end.
Sure, it was during all this is how long ago. It was during all the names of the Facebook or the MySpace people that had liked the page that they put in the credits. That's what burned.
Good memory.
You're fucking kidding me.
Clerks 2 I did not love as much, and I think it's just because I have such a fondness for Clerks 1. Clerks 3, and we're getting off on a little tangent here, but Clerks 3, I'm hoping he brings some of that magic back. I haven't loved a Kevin Smith movie since Dogma, I guess. I mean, I can't think. I watched Red State, I think, which was okay. I watched Tusk, which was horrible. I didn't watch that one he did with Bruce Willis and I think Tracy Morgan. Was that Cop Out or something? I did not like Jersey Girl, and I love George Carlin and Ben Affleck. I like him as an actor. I just who was that didn't have Jennifer Lopez. Liv Tyler. Okay.
Jennifer Lopez died like right at the beginning of the movie.
She was the mom. Okay. I mean, listen, I get it was just kind of saccharine, and it was a different thing for him. It was more a romantic comedy, but I mean, he has experience with that. When you look at like Chasing Amy, and I mean, half if not every film of his has some sort of romance angle, but it didn't have enough of the humor that I enjoyed.
Mallrats is still probably my favorite.
Yeah, Mallrats is great. Oh,
I made that reference to my wife one day about, it kind of put me in an uncomfortable place. And she didn't say
like the
anything. I'm like, what the
back of a
fuck?
Volkswagen.
Yeah. What the fuck? How do you not know that?
And by the way,
oh my God, we got to watch this movie.
by the
Yeah,
way,
I think
someone.
I think my oldest might have watched Mallrats on their own because of the Stan Lee scene in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because that was a great scene. I mean, he's sitting on the bus reading a copy of the script from Mallrats. That's fucking awesome.
Did you so you remember the chocolate covered pretzels? So obviously that was brought up. That's the guy. That was brought up to Michael Rooker, and he's like, they were like, "Hey, do you still like eating chocolate covered pretzels?" He's like, "Yeah, do you have any?" And unfortunately, no one had chocolate covered pretzels. I regretted at that moment immediately not bringing some to the panel. Like, yeah, I got some because this guy was crazy. He would have eaten all of them. I would have probably given them to him. All right, so yeah, Clerks 3. We'll see what happens. I've seen the set photo. They're almost done filming it. They brought back everyone from Clerks 2. They brought back Dante and Randall. They brought back, I think her name's Becky, Rosario Dawson. And they brought back that that guy who seemed so young at the time. He was like the new movies employee or whatever. He's coming back. And he's working in New Jersey at the I think at the video store with him or something, at the convenience store, whatever it is now. And he looks just so much older. And you see, listen, the time doesn't care about any of us. It's going to ravage all of us. But just to see Dante and Randall, like even Randall looks old, and Randall always looked the same. You know what I mean? Rosario Dawson is the only one who's ageless in this photo. It looks like she actually got younger if you look at the new cast photo. So we'll see how I'll watch Clerks 3 because I gotta watch it. But
I might have to rewatch the other two first.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Clerks 2 had a donkey show and movies, and I don't know, that's all I really remember.
I think that's where I learned the term ATM from.
That's right, that's her big thing. I think there's a meme going around about that lately. Have you seen that? It's like where it says how people know Rosario Dawson now, and it shows Ahsoka Tano, and then it says how I know Rosario Dawson is you never go ask. All right, but then so after the Full House panel, probably the most lively and probably the best panel, and that's saying a lot because, like I said, every panel I went to was pretty great. Top three were Rooker, in no particular order, Rooker and David Koechner probably. But then you have this one who is definitely number one, John Barrowman. Do you know who John Barrowman is?
Doesn't ring a bell.
So he played Jack. Shit, what's the guy's? He played Captain Jack in Doctor Who and Torchwood. I didn't watch either one of those shows, but I know he was big from that. I, for some reason, thought he was a British guy. I guess I thought I'd seen him at a convention before, but I guess I hadn't. He's also been on Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow. I don't watch those either, but he's American, and so he comes out. And my wife had seen a panel, I guess, last time she came, and she said she absolutely had to stay. I thought I saw it before, but I don't remember. So this guy comes out, and I don't know why I didn't have my video rolling because I recorded everyone else coming out, but for some reason, John Barrowman, I think I was sitting there in the Michael Myers costume, and I just didn't do it. He comes out with this flamboyant, like velvet robe, like just dangling over his shoulder, something like the Queen of England or a king or something would wear, and he's in high heels, silver high heels. He's what Jeremy? Oh, Jeremy, did you drop out? Now we gotta wait for Jeremy, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone watching it live, I'll have to cut this out of the fucking podcast.
My bad. Go ahead.
Are you back now?
Velvet robe.
He's wearing his silver high heels. If you don't, not that it. Can you hear? Okay.
Yeah. For now.
Okay. Not that it would matter, because people can be cross dressers without being gay, but the guy is gay. But so he comes out and he's doing the whole like the walk. He's doing everything, and then he's twirling the robe. And he twirls it off. And he's got this blue Doctor Who TARDIS dress on. It's spaghetti straps. It's like goes to his chest, like up here, and then it's like it goes to like his mid thigh level. And he's twirling around in the dress. It's like a custom made sparkly Doctor Who TARDIS dress, and it was just it was great. It was the best way to start it. It's almost like it's almost like a live show rather than a Q&A, like a panel where someone asked some questions. They basically just gave him the mic and he did his thing. And he played some videos that he took on set of Legends of Tomorrow or Arrow with some other cast members. They were funny. He told hilarious stories. He was awesome. He answered questions from fans too, but he was just like no holds barred, nothing. He like one fan said, "Oh, can you touch my belly so my baby, is born, whatever." And Captain Jack, I don't know. He's all about that. He had a scandal of his own come out a year ago, I guess. But it turns out it wasn't a scandal for him, really, but he got looped into it. And he did address that. He addressed that pretty honestly. It was some other Doctor Who or Torchwood actor who was harassing females on set and behind the scenes and stuff like that. And someone brought up the fact that John Barrowman had an issue where on set there was some sort of inappropriate thing, or what would be considered inappropriate now. The person who he did whatever he did to was in on it, and they were fine with it, and they laughed about it. I guess another crew member had seen it and thought that they didn't know that. And so again, there was no scandal and it came out after the fact, but he got unfortunately looped into this other guy's scandal who was on the same set or whatnot. But he addressed it so honestly that, it was refreshing to hear. But I mean, this guy, I have it now. Like my cheeks are raised because I feel like I'm still laughing and smiling about this guy. So I mean, I hope he comes back to MegaCon every time. He was a joy to watch. And listen, I'm not going to watch a show just because an actor's in it. I'm not going to watch Arrow. I don't have any faith in any DC shows unless it's on maybe HBO Max or something like that. But it was fun. It was good times. Was that Saturday? Yeah, so that was Saturday. And then I watched one more panel on Sunday after, like I said, we had to go to Sophie had to go to Denny's for breakfast because that was the only thing that was really close, but you still had to wait. So I run back to get George Takei at noon at 12 p.m. They stayed and paid at Denny's or whatnot. So George Takei, he's great. He seems older to me than Shatner, but he's not. So that's why I'm saying Shatner's so spry and whatnot. But Takei still has great stories. Someone brought up the Howard Stern show, and that said that's why they were at MegaCon, because George talked about MegaCon on the Howard Stern show. I don't recall that, and I've listened to every episode, but I'm sure he did. He didn't really have any controversial things. He talked about his usual stuff. About coming out in 2005 and how Governor Schwarzenegger, his decision to come out was because Schwarzenegger vetoed the marriage rights bill that the state had passed. He talked about Star Trek a little bit, obviously. He talked about his play. Forget the name of it, but it's the play from him being in the Japanese American internment camp. Gotta make sure I say that right because he would hate me if he heard that. But he was great. He was a good way to end Sunday because we really didn't do anything after that. After I saw Takei, I walked down to the floor. I was not in costume. I didn't wear a costume Sunday. And we did the floor. I made sure I saw everything. I wanted to get some stuff. I wanted to get some art and stuff, but I didn't get it because as you can see behind me, I'm kind of out of space. So with my limited space and Heather not letting me hang stuff out anywhere outside of the room, it has to be only her approved. So I couldn't get the art that I wanted. But next time I'm hoping I'm gonna go with a little bit more of a plan and be able to get some art from an artist I love and get some signatures.
Shitty laundry on the wall behind you. Get rid of that.
You're funny. Just because you win the Super Bowl one time when you pay yeah, I'm talking about recently.
Just pointing it out twice.
Well, we got 5.
The most recent one was the last one.
The last one, yeah.
The very last one.
Don't worry,
it's not me lately. All right.
It's not going to happen this year.
Bradshaw.
I live on Bradshaw. I live on Roethlisberger.
How many's he won?
One, but
Fuck you then.
wait, no, two.
What kind of fan are you? You don't know?
Wait, they have 6. I forgot they have one for the other thumb. That's right, because Bradshaw won 4 and Roethlisberger won Cardinals, Seahawks, and Lost Packers. Ha! So we got 6, bitch.
What year did Roethlisberger win?
2005 and 2008.
Just saying.
Hey,
Shit.
I got hope for this year.
One of your kids wasn't even born. The first one.
One of my kids. Do I have more than one kid?
There's a chance.
No, not really. All right, so that was my MegaCon, and we finished it off by having my new favorite dessert, purple raindrops at a place called Rock and Brews in Orlando. They have a bunch of good beers, good stuff on tap. Their food is good, and yeah, I highly recommend it. So that's how we finished off our little weekend. That's my MegaCon experience for the first hour of the show.
I knew that was going to be most of the day.
Hey, you asked about it. I didn't even bring it up.
I did.
I just put it on the list.
So my wife and oldest are at FanCon, or I don't know what the fuck it's called this weekend. It's also in Orlando. It's at the other end of iDrive. Well, other end of the strip of iDrive. Down by McDonald's. The big McDonald's. You know which one I'm talking about. Sand Lake Drive.
Where's it at?
I think it's right there at the corner of Sand Lake and iDrive.
Is that a hotel?
Yeah, it's a hotel convention center thing. It's a big hotel, but I think that's where it is. I'm not sure. I didn't go. So my wife texted me last night. They got in there. She's like, "Hey, did you make it all right?" She's like, "Yep, I'm at. We're checking in right now. Dog the bounty hunter's right in front of me." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." Tell him congrats on the upcoming wedding. Ask if he wants to be on our podcast. All right, and my wife would too. But I thought that was funny.
No response from dog.
I don't know that she actually asked him. He may have walked away by the time I sent the message. Too bad she didn't get Poncherello. He's supposed to be there.
Who?
Poncherello? Eric Estrada?
Oh, don't they call him
Ponch? The 80s, are you?
Don't they call him Ponch or something like that?
Yeah, his last name is Poncherello, though.
Yeah, but I never watched Starsky and Hutch or whatever the fuck it is. What was it called?
You never
Chips.
That's what... Chips.
No, I didn't watch.
What's wrong with you?
No, I didn't watch the old Chips or the new Chips.
Are you?
I didn't watch lame cop shows.
What the fuck is wrong with you? How did you not watch that? Bet you didn't watch the old Adam West Batman reruns either, did you?
Of course I watched that, but that's from the 60s.
Sure, but they were on TV in the fucking 80s.
Yeah, but that's more pop culture. That's more superheroes or Transformers or G.I. Joes. That's more stuff
Chips,
relevant.
A-Team, the
A-Team.
I mean, all that.
No,
shit
I didn't watch Airwolf.
all in the same. Come on.
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Dukes of Hazzard? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You apparently have a hard-on for guns and militaries and cars and stuff like that. I don't care about that shit.
No, you got aliens and fucking swords.
So, sorry. What are you saying?
Just letting that one out there.
You could have just said Eric Estrada, and I would have known who you were talking about. Yeah, but I know Ashley Eckstein is going to be there. She's the voice of Ahsoka Tano, except for on The Mandalorian. So I told Jeff there. Yeah, I told him
who they're going to see.
I told him, I said he needs to go get a hug, an autograph, a kiss, whatever he can get from her. She's cute.
I don't know if he was buying an autograph or a picture or what it was he was spending his money on.
It was something from talking to him, he had pre-ordered something. So because I told him to go get I think a picture with her, and he said that's like $80, and I said I said it'd be worth it. Go get it. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the smaller conventions, I'm not against them, but remember that time you went to Treasure Coast Comic-Con with me, right? We went there. Oh, you didn't? Oh, yeah, that's right. Your wife went. Yeah, okay. That was pretty bad, and I think it only happened one time.
Oh, no, I think they do it every year. It's just really bad.
What? I never hear about it.
I think it's happened a couple more times.
But I mean, I do remember Zeus Tiny Lister was there, and I don't remember who else. That's the only one I remember.
I was just thinking, how do you start a new con at this point? Because you need a crowd to draw the stars, but you need stars to draw the crowd. So you got to have the hook for one of them to begin with. You know, I mean, the big cities all pretty much have one now, so that's a little bit more of a draw. But to start a smaller one, I mean, I don't know how you fucking do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be kind of probably niche or something, or you gotta know what you're doing. I do remember actually that some of my favorite cosplayers were there. I think Danica Rockwood, who was Dahlia Thomas at the time, was there, and I think Ellie Murray, who I think goes by Danielle and Nicola now. They were there. That's where I first met them. That's before they got
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I didn't go up to him or anything at the time. I didn't go up to him until Tampa Bay Comic-Con, I think later that year, like a month or two later, or maybe the next year. But they weren't huge then. So now I message them. You know, I used to message Danielle after, like, oh, hey, you're gonna be at Tampa. I'm gonna come get your autograph. She's like, oh, great, come by. And like now I message like, hey, I was wondering if you want to be on the podcast. No response.
Yeah.
She's
Did you see any good cosplays while you're up there? We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, I didn't take any pictures. Oh, I took one picture. There's a there was a Beaker from Muppets cosplay. Again, and you probably can't see on the phone. Yeah, not really. Right. But he was good. he stayed in character. He's like meep. There was a Darkwing duck hybrid with the Mandalorian armor, I think, which was cool, and I wanted to take a picture of it, but I didn't. But yeah, I mean, there were a bunch of good ones. I've kind of gotten out of the habit just because I'm usually either running to a panel or walking the floor, and I just haven't gotten into a habit of taking pictures. If there's one that I really think is cool and it's not too busy, I'll go ahead and ask them to stop. Because they have signs all over the place. Cosplay is not consent, and that has multiple meanings, and that's a term in the industry now. You should ask before taking pictures. You should definitely ask before like hugging or anything like that. There was one who I was in my Michael Myers cosplay, and one girl said she's like, "Oh my god, can I give you a hug?" And she gave me a hug. And there was one other lady who came up to me. She said, "Hey, can you go walk up to that lady in the black right over there?" And I walked up in my character, and the lady freaked out. But then of course she wanted a picture. And there's one girl that was working a booth. One of the booths, I don't know what booth it was. I wish I could give her a shout out, but she was scared to death of me. So I kept walking. I was hanging around the booth because Heather and Sophie were looking at stuff anyway, and I kept walking by, and she would run away. And then a guy who was working the same booth brought me around behind the booth and walked me through to the back, and so I scared her again, and she was freaking out, and I even broke character. I was like, it's fine, I'm not scary, but she was freaking out. So. But yeah, they had good cosplays. Just I can't speak to a bunch of them besides those two that I noticed at the time. So all right, we done covering conventions?
Oh, sure.
We've been going another 30 minutes. Are you saying we should take another break?
No, we can finish up this segment and be done.
Be done? Or we're going to run through these topics or what? I don't even know if we can cover half these topics. Suicide Squad and Free Guy, I'm sure you haven't seen, right?
I have not. Big brother, I didn't see the eviction this week.
So I shouldn't tell you who got evicted.
Probably not a good idea.
Brent got evicted. Oh, and by the way, I think I've not switched. I'm so Hannah and Sarah Beth are my two favorite girls that I think are the cutest. I'm almost more Hannah now because Hannah, the way she talks, she has a better personality, I think.
I don't find Hannah attractive at all.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a personality thing or what. I just no. Not a fan.
Well, Sarah Beth is she's a cosplayer. Did you know that? Maybe we can get her after the show ends. I doubt it though, because all Big Brother alum always get their own podcast after they leave and don't do anything else. But
we need a new co-host.
Yeah, there we go. I'll reach out to her. But I will say, go watch Suicide Squad. That was pretty fun. That was entertaining. The Suicide Squad, not the one from 2016. And Free Guy was
like
fun.
that one.
Which one? 2016?
2016, yeah. I thought it was pretty good.
It's okay. The new one's better. You'll like it more. And Free Guy was fun. We saw that in 40X up in Orlando. That was fun. I enjoyed that. So it has Taika Waititi.
All right. So the other big news for this weekend for probably a lot of people that were at Comic-Con, MegaCon, whatever, is OnlyFans going to be banning sexual content as of pornography as of October 1st. I've read a little bit about this because I didn't realize OnlyFans had anything that wasn't sexual content. Thought that was the whole idea. But I read that there's some theories out there that the reason they're doing this is that Pornhub took some pretty big heat, I don't know, a year or two ago for not being as why the fuck can't I think of words today? Not being as proactive as they could to prevent underage pornography or revenge porn or anything like that. And they had a couple really kind of damning articles written about them that they weren't policing it as much as they should. And in response, Visa and MasterCard stopped being the ways you could pay for Pornhub. I don't know who pays for it, but apparently people were paying for it through Visa and MasterCard, but they said, no, you can't do it. So now Pornhub can only take payment through like crypto and like wire transfers. They can't use you can't use a credit card for a Pornhub account. So it was a big loss of revenue stream. And Pornhub, I guess, took off like 70% of their content that wasn't from anyone who has to be like a verified, pretty much a professional, verified account to post anything now. So they lost a ton of their content and, had a loss of their revenue, ton of their revenue stream. So the thought around is that I guess the BBC has been working on a article similar to that about OnlyFans and how they don't police underage content as well as they should. And they think this is OnlyFans kind of way of preempting that article by, okay, we're just going to drop all sexual content. I don't know what else is on OnlyFans. I've never seen any of the pornography on OnlyFans. I've never been to the website. I know what it is, but holy shit. I mean, I've never used it, but didn't Tumblr do the same thing? And do they exist anymore?
Tumblr exists. That was a big thing for I think teens to use at the time, and I guess there was some inappropriate content because it was kind of unregulated and whatnot. OnlyFans, I've been to the site. I don't understand the site. It's run out of the United Kingdom, I believe. Okay. And
that would explain the BBC article, but
yeah, it's weird. I'll be honest. Listen, I've signed up for some one person or two, but it's usually like a cosplayer. Like I think what's the name of that person? Oh, Sarah Fong, one of my favorite cosplayers. She has an OnlyFans now, so nothing sexual. She claims it's not safe for work, but it's still not nude or anything like that. But I don't understand it because it's like you can sign it, you can follow people for free, but they don't post usually things for free. But then if you buy something, sometimes you have to pay like $5 for a set of pictures or $5 for a video. It doesn't make sense. Like if you're subscribing to someone for the month, why do you have to pay extra? So it's like it's a lot of stuff. And listen, I like to think of myself as not a desperate guy. I mean, if I need porn, there's porn out there, like you said, porn, YouPorn, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that anyone who is a customer of these people is desperate, but that just seems like a lot of money to spend to me for things like that. And OnlyFans getting rid of that, I don't understand how they're going to survive, because beyond that, like I said, yeah, there's one cosplayer that I know of on there that posts non-nude things, and OnlyFans did say that you could post nudity as long as it wasn't sexual or something like that. So I guess that's artistic nudity. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. I didn't know anything about this BBC article you were telling me about.
I don't know. Some of the memes are awesome though. There's one where your mom saying we can't afford the trip to Disney World anymore, and OnlyFans is shutting down October 1st, or mom saying we got to move, we can't afford rent anymore, and OnlyFans is shutting down October 1st. Fuck. Pictures of a girl working behind the counter at McDonald's. Hey, wasn't I on your OnlyFans last month?
I mean, it's true, and that's sad. That just shows. I mean, listen, if there's a legitimate reason behind it, if it is like underage things that aren't being monitored and regulated like it probably should be, then yeah, fine. But if it's just like credit card companies being like conservative, puritanical bullshit, that's a different thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know where it falls.
Now, see, I can understand somewhat where they're coming from, because you don't want to be, associated with child pornography in any way and form. But yeah, it seems like a little bit of a, because Pornhub was trying, a lot of the stuff they did was to try to get the credit card companies back, and a year and a half later or whatever, it hasn't worked. You still can't use a credit card to pay for it. So all that did was, change their business model. Now they have ads, so they were still making money. Fuck it. OnlyFans has no ads. It's all revenue stream.
But the ads on Pornhub are always like, "This will make you come in 30 seconds."
Yeah, but
and then you hit skip.
But they get paid for it still. I mean, now one of the theories is that OnlyFans has some other stuff where they make a little bit of money. Excuse me.
Jeremy's had some allergic fit.
Make a little bit of money, and the theory is that making a little bit of money with something is better than making no money because it's all gone. So they're just trying to survive more or less. But my other thing is somebody's going to fill the void. That shit was making too much money for too many people for someone else not to try to do it.
Of course. I mean, it's going to come along. There's always an outlet for these things, but we'll see what happens.
All the cam sites are going to blow up with the people that haven't had to be on them for a while.
Yeah, I mean, my free cams is literally free cams, and you just tip if you want. So things like that. But we'll see what happens. Jeremy, you're saying you want to end the show? That? My free cams?
Yeah, tipping for stuff.
Oh, I don't tip.
Just wait for someone else to.
Yes. Yeah. Jeremy, you don't want to cover all these other interesting things?
Man, fuck! It seemed like everything you wanted to put on here was about fucking COVID.
It wasn't
exactly an entertaining show.
A lot of stuff is in the news, but it's not. It's news stuff, man.
Let's see. One.
I know the Girl Scout cookie thing is interesting to you. It's interesting to me.
4, 5, 6, at least 6. I don't know. What was the Larry David, Alan Dershowitz thing? Is that COVID related?
That was Larry David thinking that Aaron Dershowitz is a garbage human and piece of shit for acting as a lawyer for Trump or working in Trump's administration. That's not the same thing. No.
Okay.
COVID
fine.
adjacent.
6.5. 6.5 topics you fucking put on here about COVID. What the fuck, man? It's a little bit of overkill.
You got to find the humor in things.
Nobody wants to get sick. I understand, but the fuck, man.
Let's
what about Christina Applegate? What did you want to talk about?
I mean, nothing really besides that she came out with her diagnosis of MS. I mean, I don't know anything she's worked on recently, but obviously I think both of us are fans of hers from Married with Children and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Beyond that, I mean, those are pretty much my two things for her, I think.
Babysitter. Well, that wasn't her. Babysitter Club. That was or not. What was the other one? What was the one where they had to like go fight Thor? Was that Babysitter? Adventures in Babysitting. That wasn't her.
Oh, that's Elizabeth Shue. They didn't have to fight
Thor.
Huh? They didn't have to fight Thor. That was Vincent D'Onofrio, and Vincent D'Onofrio helped them.
What you didn't fucking know what
I meant. I didn't know what you meant. I thought you meant that Christina Applegate had been in a Marvel movie that I didn't remember.
No. But I always associate those two movies together because it's the same type of genre that I don't think you could make today.
Eh,
You know?
it'd be tough, but I think you could do it.
Oh man, fucking don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. The fucking fashion show at the end. Holy shit, is that horrible? That did not hold up. Did not hold up at all.
I know what you're talking about, but I have to rewatch it because I don't remember exactly what you're talking about. Is it the teen girls parading around on the runway? What?
Well, yeah, like in fucking neon and shit, and the outfits do not hold up. They are
Well, it was the
they are
90s.
Well, yeah, fuck, they're horrible.
It was what, 92?
They were horrible then, and they're even worse now. I'm just saying. No, not good. Not good at all.
It's funny. But yeah, no, I mean, it just sucks. I don't want to hear anyone having any health problems. And, it just sucks to hear that. I don't know a ton about MS, but, I know that it's not a good thing at all. And if it's very progressive, then it can be really bad. And, it just sucks. Like I said, just someone who's kind of a part of my childhood developmental years. And now to hear that, and everyone dies, I get it. Hey, I looped death in, but
what a surprise.
but at the same time, like I said, it just sucks to hear that. That's all.
All right, so I heard a new term the other day, and it made me think, holy shit, this is a new PC one that I haven't heard yet. Politically correct stuff, some of it, it's takes it a little far to me. I heard the news. They're talking about a story, and instead of using the term homeless, they use the term unhoused person. I was like, holy shit. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is the difference? Can you explain this to me?
No, I think I've heard that before. I think I might have even heard it in my current profession. But I don't know when or where that kind of came about. Obviously, you heard it on the news. I don't watch news. I know that comes as a shock to you, but I don't. So I don't know where that came from or why maybe being used. I mean, a homeless person's a homeless person. I still use that term.
I think it was NBC National News, if I'm not mistaken. But I was like, what the fuck? When did this come about? When did homeless become a bad word to use? I mean,
I don't necessarily, and again, I don't know enough about it to speak, but I mean, I'll talk a little bit about it. I don't necessarily think it's saying homeless is bad. I think it's more of saying what happened, because I think unhoused may refer to the current, housing issues. And I don't know if you're aware, but me doing what I do, I know housing, especially in Florida, is really tough now, whether it's too expensive or it's just non-existent, or it's really tough to get housing now. So with evictions, I guess, being allowed in some fashion again, maybe that's what they mean by unhoused rather than maybe say evicted or something like that. But again, I don't know enough to speak about it. I'm just speculating.
all right, so you want to talk about a fucking brownie cookie?
Oh, dude, I mean, now that I like caramel, Girl Scouts are putting out a new cookie. It's a brownie cookie.
Is that what's in the middle?
Yeah, caramel and sea salt. Oh, it looks delicious. I can't wait. I'm not a big Girl Scout cookie guy, so when I saw this, I was like, this looks amazing.
See, I like the peanut butter ones. That and Thin Mints. I mean, Thin Mints are still fucking good, but the boxes just keep getting smaller for the same fucking price. Soon it's gonna be one sleeve of cookies for fucking $4 to $50 or whatever the fuck it is now. Shit, expensive.
You probably shouldn't be eating any of these cookies if you want to live past that 5-year deadline you told us last week. I'm gonna get you on the Michael diet. I lost 2 or 3 pounds the other day just eating what I eat.
Yeah, you don't eat fucking food.
I do.
1,200 calories a day. That's not healthy.
It's good for me. That's what my doctor told me I should eat.
1,200 calories.
My cardiologist a few years ago, it's 1,200 calories.
That's on the low end.
You're not The Rock, man. You don't need to eat 10,000 calories a day.
And I don't. But fucking 4,000 or 1,200. It's fucking crazy. And I remember back in the day, you were doing 700 calories a day.
When? What are you talking about?
At one point, you were doing 700 calories a day. You weren't eating shit.
I don't know about that. That sounds good to me if I lose some weight.
No, that's fucking not good. It's not the way to do it.
But yeah, that's it. You don't want to cover anything else, Jeremy? Let's see. We talked a little bit about Larry David.
I never watched Reno 911, so who are they coming back with?
So Roku bought Quibi, and Quibi had put a few Reno 911 shows out, and I didn't like how Quibi did it because I don't know if you paid any attention to Quibi. No. Depending on how you held your phone, you would get a different camera angle, which to me defeats the purpose because I'm watching something that's created by someone. I want to see what you intended me to see. I don't want to turn my thing if I want to see one person's viewpoint or another viewpoint. And so that was annoying to me. So Quibi failed. Roku bought it. And Roku is reimagining it by smashing a bunch of the smaller episodes, I guess, together to make full-length like episodes they had on Comedy Central. And by the way, you would love Reno 911. It's hilarious. But apparently it's coming back with, I think, 4 more full-length episodes, and we'll see if they make anything beyond that. But I'm a big, yeah. I mean, yeah. They add someone new occasionally, but it's usually the same cast. I mean, it's a lot of the people who are from the state. Thomas Lennon, is Joe Latrulio in that? No, it's the other guy, Ben. Forget his name. But a lot of the state.
Niecy Nash or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's gotten some more clout since then. So I mean, I assume she would come back. She came back for the Quibi stuff, but if people couldn't make it for the Quibi stuff, that's what they did. They kind of shot around it, almost like Arrested Development tried with their last season. But yeah, I'm just happy to hear that they were coming back for a few shows. Talking about shows I think you would like, I think you need to watch Wellington Paranormal and What We Do in the Shadows if you're already not watching them.
All right, neither one of those sounds like something I should watch.
Bro, it is not a horror show. It's comedy. Don't you like comedy? Are you the one who tells me you want to laugh? You like comedy and blah, blah, blah.
It's supposed to be funny.
Both of them are hilarious. That you know who Taika Waititi is?
Doesn't sound familiar.
I failed you as a friend. Taika Waititi is the director of Thor Ragnarok. Okay. He's played characters. He plays the bad guy and Free Guy. He played Korg in Thor Ragnarok and Avengers. Was that Endgame? Yeah, Endgame. I think it was. The big rock guy.
Okay.
Anyway, he's hilarious. He's from New Zealand. Him and Jermaine Clement put out What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, probably a decade or more ago. So it's a real New Zealand type of humor, which I've come to love. And so they put that out. It turned into a television series with different vampire characters, but they came back as some of their vampire characters in the series, I think in the first or second season, when the vampire tribe came around. But it's just hilarious. Literally, there's nothing to be scared of in the shows, Jeremy. There's no jump scares, there's no horror. Yeah, they're vampires, but one of them's an emotional vampire, Colin. So he walks up to people. He works in an office, like a cubicle job. He'll walk up to people and just talk to them until like, he bores them to basically death, but not really death. And so he gets that energy, and that's what he thrives off of rather than blood. So that's pretty funny, right? So that one's coming back for its 3rd season, September 2nd, I think, and it already has been renewed for a 4th. It's just really funny. And then back on that, Wellington Paranormal was actually featured in the original film. It's basically, since it took place in New Zealand, Wellington, the police are chasing them at one point in the movie, and they took that and made a TV series based off the Wellington police and how they would go after paranormal cases, almost like an X-Files, but funny, And it's really that one was around, I think, in New Zealand. They just started airing it in America this past season. And they're still putting out season 2 now. It's on HBO Max as well. It's funny too. I think What We Do in the Shadows is funnier. They do a lot more like sexual humor there because 2 of the vampires are together, and they talk about sex and blah blah, all this kind of stuff. It's a little grosser in that kind of sense. What Wellington Paranormal is about cops, but it's kind of dumb humor. Like the sergeant, Sergeant Maka is the character's name, and he has a secret office where the paranormal unit is, and he. Sorry, just thinking about it makes me laugh. To get into the office, he has a punch pad, a number pad, and the first time he gets the new officers in the office, he presses a button, and and it's just a 1-number code. And the officers go, "Is it just one number?" He's like, "No, it's not just one number." And then he'll go, he'll make a beep sound like he's pressing the button again because they thought the one number would be too simple to diss. And then they do kind of something like that in every episode, like one of the more recent ones. He had a voice print thing, but it's not a voice print thing. It's still the one number thing, but he goes, "Voice print recognized," or something like that. And so it's hilarious. Those two, I'm huge fans of theirs. I mean, Taika Waititi just put out another show, Reservation Dogs, on Hulu. And I haven't seen it yet, but it looks good. It's about 4 kids on an Indian reservation, Native American reservation, and they're thieves, but it looks funny. Not as funny as these two. These two are straight up comedies. I think you would love them, given that that's what you thrive off of. So give them a shot. Give each episode a shot.
We'll see.
Those are my 2 for those. If you don't want to talk about everything else, listen, COVID sucks. It's taken over the world. Vaccine mask mandates are in effect. Some people are following them, some people aren't, and that's what we're going to talk about, and that's it. Jeremy doesn't want to go too deep into it because he wants us to be funny, and I get it.
Yeah, I'll give up the other one I put on there, so we'll be good.
Oh, Afghanistan.
What the fuck, dude?
You don't think people falling from planes as they're taking off or being found in wheel wells is funny fodder for the show?
I think we should have taken better care of people who helped us and get them in our country before we worry about people who are illegally coming across the border.
I think we could do both because we have plenty of unused land and we have plenty of space. So I think we could have done both. And I don't know what the holdup with it is with these visas for these Taliban the interpreters, the Afghan interpreters and everything.
Not sure if there was a plan or what the hell the plan was, but sure didn't work out.
There's never been a plan. Ever since W put us in this fucking mess to begin with to make America's longest war, someone had to end it. Trump started that timetable. When he was in office, Joe Biden's sticking to it. And unfortunately, there's a very negative effect to it that's happening to another country. And it's apparently making the first narco state in Asia because, like you have the narco states down in South America. This is Asia's first narco state because the Taliban sells drugs and makes drugs, and that's what they do. And that's what it's going to be. But, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know what the future holds. We'll see what happens with that. I don't think anything good's going to come for the Afghan people. And so if you're listening in Afghanistan, get the fuck out of there if you can.
I'm not sure it's quite that easy, but yeah.
Across the border, I don't know. I'm just saying those Taliban fucks don't seem too nice. Did you see the video of them working out in the gym?
Take their borders more seriously. Just crossing the border isn't as easy as you think.
It's not that easy in America either, Jeremy. I think that's what you're getting at. Did you see that video of the Taliban people using the gym equipment?
Yeah.
They look ridiculous. And then you got the one guy holding the rocket launcher. They look ridiculous. Joke, I don't think so. I think these guys haven't used it before. And one's on the elliptical. Oh my God. But yeah, so that's that. But this is the end. If you want to end the show, this is the end of our second season. We'll be coming back in a few weeks. I'd say probably October. We probably wait for Sate to come back, but me and Jarman might be able to start it up. I just kind of want to find a new fourth co-host since Vinny can't do it anymore. Hopefully someone who can be here a little bit more regularly. I want to think about like I stopped listening to Shuli's show, but I like what he had. He has I don't know if it would fall on us because we're kind of hosts, or if we would want to find people who want to come in and kind of address things every week so we can make it a little bit more humorous. He finds people with different, what's the polite way to say this? Different capabilities. People who are a little different. Like there's one guy who comes on and does sports and he may have like a speech defect or something like that, but he legit tries to cover sports. And there's another guy who covers entertainment. So I thought that would be cool. Whether or not that fell on us, like I think he'd be good with sports and stuff like that. We'd want to find the humor and everything, and that way we each bring our own topics to the show, but we'd be responsible for particular things. I don't know if that would apply to our show, but even if we don't come back with that, we're going to come back hopefully with a third full-time co-host, and hopefully Saint can stick around for a few more months. He claims he'll be around for 5 months this time. We'll see.
He's gone last December again.
Oh, you mean like done?
No, like he went back to the ocean in like the January or December last year.
He did.
No, I thought he was gone all spring.
No, it changes, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it changes. So like he's supposed to come back October and theoretically look for something else and maybe stick around till March, but I don't know. But hey, I want to thank everyone.
Saints, any of Saints shipmates who might listen, just kidding. He's not really looking for another job. Don't give his away.
Listen, I think everyone on that boat wants another job. Yeah, the money might be good, but I mean, that's like, it's a hard life, dude. And like, he's away from his family. I don't think anyone would ever fault him for that. And Saint, I don't think I'm saying anything out of turn. He's talked about
away from their families.
Yeah, he's talked about it on the show. But I want to thank everyone who listened to the second season, anyone who's discovered us, because our first season kind of was a long time ago and it was on Stickum and you never heard it. Stick around. We'll put out some new stuff soon. We're hopefully going to get some more USSR out, some more screen review shows. Maybe Jeremy will participate in one of those eventually. And
if you see Vinny out driving a bus, nothing wrong with yelling pillow fucker. I'm just saying.
I wasn't about to call him out like that. That's fine.
What? You said something about it at the beginning. Okay.
I didn't say what he was going to be doing.
Yes, you did.
I don't think so. I think you're mistaken.
Whatever. How many people in Atlanta really watch? Come on.
I wish we had more from Atlanta.
Shit, Vinny doesn't listen and he lives in Atlanta. We're fine.
All right. So for Jeremy, I'm Mike D, and for Saint and Vinny, who we're saying bye to, thanks for listening to this season. We'll be back in a few weeks. As usual, follow us Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, The Usual Saints. Go to our website, theusualsaints.com. Call us 240-724-6877. Email us, usualsaints@gmail.com. And we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Thanks for listening.
Hey, put something about Michael Richards in our tagline. That way people might accidentally listen to us. Just a tip.
Michael Richards, you mean Kramer?
No, Mike Richards, whatever the fuck his name is. The guy who's, just got kicked off Jeopardy. People are going to go looking for his podcast. Let's just pretend we're him for a minute.
I always put the topics we talk about Jeremy in the tags, in the hashtags.
Right. The Comic-Con, MegaCon. That's all the fuck this one's going to say.